We are live. This is the market update, Friday Night Fire. I am your host, Bill Noble. The market has gone quiet. This is another great bull market trick, right? There's the flash crash, there's the giga crash, there's, oh my God, it's in a range and I buy high and sell low 8 times. That was the summer. Then when you're sitting there ready, waiting for it to happen, nothing happens. Nothing happens. But that's good. A pause that refreshes allows you to sort of take stock, right? What do I want to add to my portfolio? What sectors? Okay, AI agents are super hot these days. We'll talk a little bit about that. I think you got a lot of people talking about AI agents. I have mine that I like. There's also XRP. You got a lot of guys in suits now starting to talk what I would call the currency revaluation talk, to the point where the best way to say that fiat stinks is to say that we should all buy Bitcoin. It's kind of a miraculous vindication because, frankly, all this doom and gloom that's always been out there, like there was a point over the summer where I was just like, enough. I'm brand building, on looking at the reasons why we're here, and then aggressively getting after it. Now, one decent thing about a quieter market is it can let you get some experience with leverage, particularly if you get these like down 3 or 4% days. Leverage is not for everybody, right? Leverage is for people who are professionals or who can afford to lose money. But sometimes a quiet market can let you build up a position that perhaps has some leverage. Because it's wild, you can't hold on to it. So there's a lot of benefits to a quiet market. Then again, what's quiet about the market? DeFi's taken off. Cross-chain is next. Privacy is going to be enormous. And of course, memes are not done yet. Every time I go to look at something cool, it's on the Base network. It's on the Base network. Base has not done anything yet. It's not compared to Solana. I don't even think compared to XRP, right? XRP had, a 400% increase in the native token. Base hasn't had any such event at all, right? The native token ETH hasn't done anything. There have been a couple of plays in there that have done well, right? Arrow, Velodrome took off, just in case you think we're kidding about DeFi on Coinbase. Hello. Okay. And there are other plays on the Base network. Virtuals is too cheap, right? Degen or any other related SocialFi. Somebody sent me SocialFi today on Avalanche, followed by BitBoy. Interesting, right? A whole new way of networking. Don't fade pudgy penguins. Don't. Got a whole new crypto world coming. Okay, let's welcome who's here. Brandon, important information. Good evening. Barrett, Miklo, not for the weak or faint of heart. Hello. Darren, Thomas, Manu from Quebec. Welcome. Right? Really like my stuff. I appreciate that. Banks 911, Judy, welcome. Horace, Yav, Huber's Ranch, Tim, Gian, hello. Bosiv, Victor, TB, cheers. Do you think the data on the 19th will be good? Do you think we go higher from here? Okay, I'm not exactly familiar with what's on the 19th. I believe that's the Fed. The Fed is fine. The Fed wants to keep their job, and they over-tightened, right? CPI is what it is. Food prices is what it is, are what they are. They over-tightened and wrecked the banking system. That's it, okay? Darren Ho, Geo, welcome. Okay, let's talk about news. Bitcoin will keep going up as long as the government keeps printing. Stocks will keep going up as the president measures the health of the economy by stock market prices. that's not totally unreasonable. I think they just showed the price of Riot blockchain. I got some of these Bitcoin mining stocks. Some of them have been upgraded by investment banks, which can be a reverse indicator. But let's talk about this for a second. So Anthony Pomp is, he's Bitcoin OG, right? I mean, it's like almost Uncle Anthony and then some. This is the guy's like third or fourth cycle. These guys are starting to pick up on this whole like Bitcoin standard thing where, Bitcoin is becoming real money. And I think what people are trying to do to be polite is they're saying, you know what? We should really get rid of our gold and do Bitcoin. And we'll have some of that in the news. And let me just take a brief moment to tell you that that's not a good idea. It's not, right? Gold's been around for a really long time, and it's a good central bank reserve asset, right? Now, it doesn't have to be the only central bank reserve asset because we have digital alternatives. What you got to get rid of is paper, right? No one wants to say it because we're kind of in a semi-patriotic stage, but you got to get rid of the paper, right? And that includes equities, honestly. That includes equities, okay? Financial Times, a little bitter men's club here from the legacy guys, the crypto crown princes who could win under Trump. It's amazing. Crypto has one good month and they're seemingly whining about it, right? Orange Man's election win sparks big things for banks and brokers. All right, stocks are a toppy. Okay. But it's good when the financial industry is not under siege from regulators or from the Fed. Like, really, since 2008, I don't know. You had regulators first, then you had this Fed tightening cycle. Obviously, things have been good in stocks, but 2022 was hard on them. 2023. And I don't understand why anybody would not want to have a financial district that's thriving if you were in the executive branch. If you were in the executive branch, right? You want banks and brokers to be as healthy as possible, especially since they have problems. So keep the markets moving north. Keep crypto moving north. Japanese lawmakers ask government to create a national Bitcoin reserve. That's because Satoshi Nakamoto was a Japanese intelligence officer. Seriously. I mean, who could have kept it this quiet this long? Not our guys. So Satoshi was either Japanese or an alien, because I don't know who else could keep it that quiet. Well, let's see. Somebody in England who's kind of like, I don't know, let's call him pro-business maybe? What do you know? He's like leading to become the next British prime minister. Well, that green button is a funny thing. Uncle Bill got that one right. Everybody's changing their mind. Now, a brief announcement from the stock market ranch. The S&P is on pace for the best full-year return this century. Yikes. With the Orange Man and Jim Cramer, right? With the Orange Man and Jim Cramer live at the exchange. Yikes. Not Cramer. No. Okay, but in stocks, it's okay. If they were talking about crypto, I would be a little bit more creeped out. That said, corporate executive stock sales have hit an all-time high. Boys, this has been such a good 15-year run. Whoop. See ya. I'm done. Don't blame them one bit. Bezos selling $1 billion worth. Warren Buffett, please take my Apple stock. Please take my Bank of America stock. I'm done. There is no asymmetric upside in equities anymore. Now, as BlackRock noted in a recent research piece, okay, AI will probably change the business cycle. You won't have, if you have like a growth downturn because of government spending, perhaps all the AI investment will help boost that, right? But does that make you want to go, oh yeah, I'm going to get a 10x in stocks, or I'm going to get 100% return or a 40% return? Maybe you get a 40% return, but you could get it in Ethereum and it could wind up being a 10x. You know what I mean? So corporations, CEOs are leaving. BlackRock says that Bitcoin at $2 trillion market cap offers a similar risk profile to the Magnificent Seven. He must watch the show. Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, the Nifty 9, the Terrific 10, add Solana. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. XRP $10, right? All that stuff was a joke. They sold that to those poor people. They sat there. They were like, yeah, man, $539. Well, how about 10? How about $1 trillion? What's $1 trillion between friends? Trillion's nothing to Larry. He knows what's going on. He knows we're in a fiat revaluation period. This is why he wanted in. The long-term upside target for the Bitcoin ETF was 50 billion under management. They're there now. US Bitcoin investor sentenced for getting sideways with law enforcement. The primary job of government is to protect the people. That means they do have to enforce laws. Now I'm not talking about a frivolous lawsuit. I'm talking about, the speed limit's 55. It doesn't mean you can go 80. Just, do what you have to do in April. MicroStrategy to enter NASDAQ 100, exposing Bitcoin-linked stock to billions in passive investment flows. And they haven't even done DeFi yet. They haven't done DeFi yet. We're all competing for $45 million in Bitcoin mined daily. So they're buying to buy the billions, and they're only mining $45 million a day. And this can only go on for so long, as you've heard, before the whole thing just levitates. And I know that they're afraid of it. Like, this is great for Mike. It's not good for everybody else. It's good for your bags. It's good for all of us, right? But there are a lot of new people that have gotten crypto. There are a lot of institutions that are being left in the dust here, right? Mike is going around on TV trying to explain it to people that you could just basically wake up and this thing could be on its way to 200K. In other words, I have lived through years of investment banks going, well, our 12-month price target is all the way up here, real high above the market because we really like it. I've seen it. I've seen it with the S&P. They're like, yeah, man, we're bullish. We think the S&P is going to go up 10% this year. Next thing you know, 2 months later, S&P's up 10%. Oil, stocks, whatever. It goes boom. It just goes to the 12-month target, and then they need a new 12-month target 2 months later. So everyone's like, yeah, Bitcoin's going to get to 200,000 by next year at this time. What happens if Bitcoin goes to 200,000 in February? What happens if the orange man takes his hand off the Bible at the inauguration? Everybody expects sell the fact, and he's wearing an orange tie. Then what happens? Right? Or all he's got to do is say XRP or Ethereum. All he's got to do is say it once. That's it. And it's gone. I mean it. It's gone. He's telling you this, right? The theme of every show, instead of calling this the market update, we should call it the You've Been Told show. We've been told. With the net proceeds from Riot's $500 million, okay? So they did a bond. They're not paying people any interest. That's how much they need the bond. And if the stock does good, they take the bond, the investors, and they convert it into stock. So Bitcoin miners, right? So much for the demise of Bitcoin miners. They're using the stock that no one wanted 6 months ago or 8 months ago to basically just continue to hoover up Bitcoin. And as I've said 100 times, mergers and acquisitions, along with IPOs, will be words that you will hear that are serious Wall Street boomer words. You will hear them. The only way to get the kind of Bitcoin that Michael Saylor has is to take over a mining company, which is why they are trying to lever up, right? What do you do when you think someone might buy your company? Borrow a ton of money and get as big as possible so you can get the biggest price tag. That's what they're doing. They're getting big, 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 big. They will borrow all the money anybody will lend them because that's what Mike's doing, and they're just going to keep buying. And it's not going to stop. And one day you're going to wake up in the morning and it's going to be 20% higher, right? This quiet period is most likely an engineered quiet period. Hey, these guys must watch the show too. Saylor's playbook is catching on. Marathon Digital, no one wanted that stock, 1.7 billion. Riot, Hut 8, Semler Scientific. Yeah. Good luck fading this guy. Remember, I know I say it every week. This guy bought Bitcoin at an average price of 42 or 48K and then had to watch it sit at 16K for 6 months. That is not easy. It's a good lesson because, like everybody does this, you get involved in some, it doesn't work out in the short term, or, you want to stick with it, but it's hard because everyone's like, hey, man, you're stupid. Now, why did you do that? Well, this is why he did that, right? The Financial Times says Michael Saylor's transformation of MicroStrategy. Hey, wait a minute. What paper is that? Is that an English newspaper? Now, of course, it's an economics newspaper, and I respect it, even though they can be so cranky sometimes. But Michael Saylor is like the bright, shining light now, right? All these governments and all these sovereigns that wanted to embrace all this tyrannical stuff. When they write the history of Bitcoin, okay, they're going to talk about how when it went through 100K, that people started to change their mind. Now, I'm sure the Orange Man had something to do with it, but the Orange Man and Bitcoin kind of reminds me of Ronald Reagan and the US Olympic hockey team back in 1980, where these tremendous events, I don't know, patriotic events for humanity or however you want to call them, were so exciting that they changed people's mind from being overly negative about things that were clearly negative towards some sort of optimism. And the English are reporting on this now. They have to report on it. They have to. That's the power of the green button. That's why you don't let them shake you out. That's why, when the man comes out with the ski dog call and the ski mask dog call, you kind of go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes people happy and it makes sense. And it's everybody's way of participating in pushing back against inflation. BlackRock, 6.5 billion this month. Can't stop it. 95% chance the Fed will cut rates on the 18th. Yeah, that's because they never should have been up here. They're artificially high. The dollar is artificially high, right? It's just a patriotic period. The currency has to fall. Now, everybody who wants to dump their gold, you shouldn't do that. Why? Because when Bitcoin range trades and Bitcoin goes down, gold and silver can help validate this, like the why are we here thesis. You don't want to throw gold overboard. You don't. I'm telling you, right? Because they go together. These dummies on Twitter who use these, polarizing things to get attention. I'm jealous. I would do it. Okay. But they don't need to do it because they go together. They go together, right? Fidelity, $250 million worth of ETH. Again, retail equities, classic. What's the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum in the mind of a normie? There isn't any. There really isn't any. Bitcoin's got Michael Saylor playing offense and Ethereum's got Vitalik playing defense against Solana. That's really the only difference. But Ethereum is still money. And I wish somebody from Ethereum would come out and either say that or stop selling and use its application layer like Aave for financing. Okay, billionaires are saying Bitcoin is much better than gold. So, welcome to a new way to get attention. Bitcoin is much better than gold. It is. Okay, but you shouldn't get rid of gold for the sake of getting rid of gold. Don't get rid of gold because Bitcoin is hot. Don't, because it's a reserve asset. It helps countries balance their, keep their currency supported, right? A lot of countries need that. Like, I think they need it in Russia. I think they need it in China. Yeah, they bought too much gold and no Bitcoin. That's not good. Just let them go together. Because you know what? Most people in Bitcoin are not talking about gold going to 5,000 or 10,000. That could happen. And can you imagine where Bitcoin is if gold goes to 10,000? Why would you want to get rid of something that's a catalyst? Okay. CNBC, a 2-minute masterclass on money. If we go back to having hard money where money is no longer debt, we no longer need to be monetizing debt. We no longer need everybody to become a debt servant. The Bitcoin standard, like what's old is new again. Here we go. The 78-year-old orange man and Aave. I know the meme stuff is more fun, but 10 years later, when Aave's at 1,000 or 1,500, right? What's the trading at now? 300 something? It's going a lot higher. Aave, Galaxy Digital, they're probably going to compete for who like the next big, I don't know, maybe Goldman Sachs of crypto. Orange Man's telling you, right? Franklin Templeton is telling you your grandpa's mutual fund company that had a booth at Consensus. AI agents, interesting. Memes with a theme. I got one. Everyone's got one. Fartcoin is now bigger than 38% of the publicly traded companies in the United States. Who am I to argue with that? Okay, there's me and my little coin, right? The update is it went all the way up, it went all the way down, and the catalysts are all still there. The team is bringing back the first crypto influencer as a talking AI. That's my little pet project. It's not financial advice. It's not for the rent. It's highly volatile. Okay. But I like things that mean something, right? And I know that's ridiculous, but I make my brand in crypto as a little bit ridiculous, right? Bringing this guy back, and he is back posting on Twitter, on the project's Twitter feed. Bringing back the guy that wrote the cryptocurrency Declaration of Independence, which you are now benefiting from. Now, again, right, the main headline is not about the thing that trades at a 900,000 market cap, okay, because we all know what can happen to those coins both ways. But Franklin Templeton, they were interested in Rihanna NFTs at one point. They thought Gen Z was going to want music, right? Gen Z, as it turned out, wants meme coins and this AI agent trend, AI influencers. I mean, everything's going to be an AI agent. It's a sector. It's for real. You know what I'm saying? And they can expand valuations to $1 billion easily, right? So if Fartcoin can go to 700 million or $1 billion, then Virtuals, the AI agent maker, should be at $100 billion, not 2, right? If Whiff and Bonk are flipping each other, then shouldn't Ski Mask Dog be at $1 billion? I mean, if we're going to have valuations, the thing that's funny is the market doesn't apply the thinking on valuations evenly across the board. And that's great, because who wants to come to crypto and be like, okay, I just got here. Anything cheap, Anything new? Anything undiscovered? Yeah, dude, there's plenty of stuff. Pepe was that. I know somebody who jumped on Pepe at 200 million back in the day. Pepe proceeded to go to $1 billion and is now at 8 billion. Why would you not listen to smart money when they're telling you that, hey, there's something cheap out there? BlackRock's Ethereum ETF surpasses 3 billion in inflows as ETH could surge to 15,000. So there are a lot of targets people are throwing around these days. I like the 7,000 number in ETH because a 7,000 number means you've blown past 5 and everybody's eyeballing 10. Can you imagine where the layer ones are? Like the AI agents, right, they could possibly run. They could start being issued by layer ones, right? You don't know where the AI agents are going to be issuing coins. Are they going to issue coins on XRP? Right? Is it going to run on XRP Ledger or Avalanche or Solana? Right? You don't know what the machines are going to do. And I think that's why Franklin Templeton thinks it's exciting because everything's been kind of traded in equities. Now you got this like whole wild world opening up. Now, of course, AI agent token market surpasses 10 billion. So it's very exciting and the price reflects it. Right? I like stuff at 1, 20, 50, and 200. So it's either really small, it's either made its way to 20 million and it's going to see if it's going to go to 100, or it's at like 200 deciding whether or not it wants to go to 1 billion. So like, I don't know, call it 2, 20, and 200, right? Those are the coins that are like really interesting to me. And you know what? Every time somebody shows me something cool, it's on base. And you know what? Your friendly neighborhood market update economics guy, my phone is ringing. People want to talk about privacy. People want to talk about AI agents, like for real, like real deal YouTube influencer, KOL stuff. I'm like, well, hello, right? So the rising tide. I have never had a problem with stuff going to 1 billion. No, I don't. Because you're attracting capital to market. You got Franklin Templeton's attention. Now, should you be paying 700 million for fart coin? Well, I don't know. Everyone who owns fart coin probably thinks so. So they can unload on you at, I don't know, whatever price. Okay. Just be careful you don't get unloaded on. But this theme, I think Bitwise is right. It's not going anywhere. Right. You got to find the right play for you. Okay, so yeah, this guy, I know he's like ultra deep value investment category. So not for the rent, probably for spare change. But ultra deep value investment means in crypto terms, it's a hidden gem. In equities and hedge funds, ultra deep value investment. And you know what? Ski Mask Dog was that way when Brian brought it up at 10 million. And I don't think it's too late at 100 and something because it's trading in a square range, right? Look at this. It's a square. Everything ETH based. Like the square seems to get better every day because they keep trying to either take out the bottom or they're just kind of rounding out the square. It's not a triangle. It's a square. Everything ETH based trades as a square. It goes up eventually, right? Solana overthrows Ethereum's 8-year range as the top ecosystem for new development. Well earned. They earned it. They did. The guys at ETH sat around and forgot that they were money. Van Eck predicts U.S. Bitcoin, the United States, will do the strategic reserve. You know, this was a joke. This was a joke. People were looking at this like, yeah, this is like crypto fantasy land. Just like the Orange Man's DeFi project, right? They made fun of it. They made fun of us for this. You know, they're like, oh, yeah, okay. Government's going to come in and buy 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. Sure thing, guys. It's going to happen. They said they're doing it. They're doing it. Someone bought 2 Solana worth of Fartcoin and sold it for $2,000, and now it's worth 38 million. Okay, so this tweet reminds you of a couple things. One, if you're able to, leave a moon bag, right? Take your money that you need to take to pay your bills. Stay on the trend if you can. Now, what tweets like this can do is they can distort your mind, especially if you're going to be working with leverage. You cannot afford to approach the market with a distorted mind. You missed the trade. Okay. I took profits too early in Peanut. Okay. I believe in McAfee, and I have to because the price action is all over the place. Sometimes you have to believe, right? Someone who believed in Fartcoin and AI agents, he did good. Someone else took profits. Don't let anyone else's winnings or losings impact your mind. Your own emotions over your own P&L, those are tough to control. Those are going to come and go. But getting emotional about other people's stuff, no bueno. Orange Man says US is going to become the global leader in cryptocurrency on December 13th at 7:37 a.m. And they gave you a nice, quiet market in order to get involved. Everyone's like, well, why? It's not 5x. Whatever I'm in is not 5xing. Okay. But you've been told. And they're giving you a pause. It's like, it looks like everyone is distracted and out Christmas shopping. But what's really happening is that the guys that have to buy giant plane loads full of this stuff are just quietly sitting there hoping that they can just buy it quietly. When I know that's not true. And you know that's not true. And they know that's not true. But we'll let them have their fantasy while the market is quiet. Saying in legacy, never short the quiet market. That means the quiet market is quiet because it's getting ready to go up. Okay. Solana in America. Solana, New York City, May 22nd to 23rd. Think that's the same time as Bitcoin Vegas. Active daily users in crypto. Gee, there's a lot of people hitting the green button, right? Everyone's like, this has been a really good rally. It's been really good. Yeah, it's probably over. No. Brian's latest video goes, you know what? I've been there. I've done that. I've seen a lot. This is not excessive. It's not. How could it be excessive? It's only been going on for a month. He's like, you know what? Let's play. Let's go. That's exactly the right attitude, honestly. I mean, yeah, okay. That's my boss. I got it. But why are we getting off the train? We haven't even gotten on the base train. Like, I'll say something stupid. Anybody heard of NFTs on base? I seem to remember somebody talking about that a while ago. No one's even mentioned it. Everything I get shown is on base. Hey, Bill, can you send me a base address? Hey, Bill, we're on base. Oh, look, this is on base. And we're talking about billion-dollar market cap stuff. Bonk flips whiff. Who is the largest meme coin on Solana? Who cares? What matters is with these large meme coins is can they morph themselves into money? They're good starter coins, right? But this trade has been done. You're buying someone else's bags at these levels unless they can turn it into money like Floki. Sui breaks into the top 15 coins, right? Now, what do I always say? What rallies the most? The stuff that gets flipped. Sui didn't just break into the top 15. Sui flipped Polkadot. So what about Polkadot? And what about maybe a little layer zero? Anybody ever heard of that? Oh, yeah, trades on Coinbase. What happens if we get on a little interoperability on? Or what happens if Stellar and XRP got another leg? Now, there's also another point about Sui, which is starting to hit the press now, so I can stop being a madman into the microphone, is Web3, right? We're building it. We're building it because we want to build it. We're building it because we have to build it. Notice all the guys donating $1 million to the Orange Man's inaugural party. I never heard of donating money to an inauguration fund before. How interesting. Yeah. Wow. You guys feeling a little nervous there, maybe? Yeah, man, that's the Orange Man. It's the cryptocurrency market. I mean, the guy that runs Polkadot went back to being a DJ. I'm serious. He was there when they founded ETH. He was there with, the guy from Cardano and Vitalik. They were all together. Everyone's forgotten about this stuff. They're going to build this huge, giant thing. And yes, I'm sure they will have meme coins on it. That's how they'll attract capital. That's me. Okay. Right. When you never set out to be a political account, but every single thing you like becomes political. Okay. So Elon makes a tweet. And what happens when Elon makes a tweet? I don't know. An algorithm launches a coin, and whatever it is goes up. Okay. Now, the point of this is you are trading out there against machines, right? The machine creates it off Elon's tweet. Everyone piles in. Then the machine will eventually unload it. Maybe not this case. I don't know. Elon loves memes. He who controls memes controls the world. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Tokemon's NFTs are amazing on Base. First crypto gamer I ever played. Should I buy Virtual's protocol right now? Okay. Well, that's a question I can't answer, but let's chart it. Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, do I want to buy Virtual because I'm experiencing like FOMO and I'm out of my mind? Or do I want to buy Virtual's protocol because I think it's worth $10 billion? Okay. Now, the way these things work, the way this has been working, right? This is a 4-hour chart. Is, you have a consolidation phase and then it goes vertical. And then you'll have this wild consolidation phase and then it goes vertical. And then what it'll do is after it gets really emotional, right, it comes down and retests at the same time. So would I buy this at the top of a giant green candle? Only if it showed that it could stay above 2 billion, which I'm just kind of assuming is right around $2, right? If it stayed above $2, well, then you have another episode of this. Okay. That would be what you would want to see for Virtual. I'm just telling you right now, if you have Fartcoin at 750 million, Virtual at 2.5 is too cheap, right? Let me see if I can pull. I don't even know if I have it on DeMark. Don't have it yet. Okay. Don't buy it because you're emotional. Buy it because you understand what it's worth. That way, if it goes in your face, which these coins can do, you won't lose it, right? Because every time if people FOMO'd in here and they had a couple of days to get it together, right? Like Fartcoin is bigger than 38% of publicly traded stocks. You might actually get a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Right? What's going on with Fetch? I don't know. Let's check it out. Okay, so Fetch, the expanding range, it breaks out, it makes a return move. Now, it's not clear that these coins are not getting eclipsed by the next generation of AI coins, the AI agent story. That said, I don't think you should be giving up on stuff like Fetch or Render or even ICP. I remember ICP was considered part of the AI trade at one point. Don't think this has been fully traded yet. What's been traded basically is Goat Coin and, Fart Coin, right? They're finding stuff that no one likes, no one understands, and they're mooning it because that's the way crypto works. If they don't understand it or they don't like it or it's crazy, they're going to moon it. However, ICP currently trades at $13 and may wind up at 81. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. Be careful. With some of these like slower moving coins, like say, for example, if you had a leverage position in Chainlink or even Polkadot, if you can get in when the market is slow like this, right? And keep your stop in, and then the thing just kind of creeps up and then accelerates. You know what I'm saying? Like that can be a way to make some of this stuff a little bit more exciting. Yes, you're going to get washed out. No, you should not yell at me about that. But this is the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Not trying to sell you this coin, but this is a hodl coin for me, right? It's just, everyone's talking about, wow, look at all these people who made money in Bitcoin. Yeah, folks, they hodled. They hodled through the worst of it. Through the worst of it. Okay, let's go to, I want to go to PowerPoint. It's actually very brief. I just want to make a point. I want to make a point about two charts. Two charts. That's it. Okay. Two crypto stocks. MicroStrategy. So last time MicroStrategy made these kind of signals, MicroStrategy went into a range from March until September or October. Now it sort of feels like, well, these are toppy signals, but it's not going down. Matter of fact, it looks like everyone is trying to buy the dip because it goes down and it comes back. It goes down and it comes back. It goes down and it comes back for the third week in a row. HUT 8. Okay. Well, that's toppy. That was toppy. That was toppy. Is HUT 8 about to change its pattern? HUT 8 gave you a dip right where these quantitative metrics say you should have gotten a dip. Last week was dip week in HUT 8. So they did a little splashy news, but look at this. It goes down, it comes back. It goes down, it comes back. It goes down, it comes back. And that happens 4 weeks in a row. I got 2 words for you. It's too cheap. 3 words. Too cheap. What am I going to do? What am I going to buy? This is the question you're asking yourself. I know it is. I know. What's too cheap? Well, I don't know. You can go back and watch the last 3 videos from the boss, alien base, all these things. You're like, what is this stuff? Right? Frequently, if you look at it and you go, God, what is this? That's why it's cheap, because people don't get it yet. And then when people do get it, investment banks are like, oh, yeah, I liked HUT 8 the whole time. Right? Now everyone's buying the dip. No one wanted it, and now it's relentless dip buying. Right? Relentless. DeMark, let's check it out. Sometimes you just got to go to a good old-fashioned 4-hour chart. Now, Dogecoin, not what everyone's talking about these days, but it's just sitting right on top of support. Right on top of support. It's like, oh, we had a big negative event. Yeah. The pause that refreshes. Solana. What do we got in Solana? Ooh, look at this. We've got a 13 bottom signal from this like funny sideways. Everyone is in memes. Like everybody has dumped. The thing that's so funny, it's not that I don't like memes. It's just that people can't dump Solana fast enough, right? What happens if Solana goes to 400? Way back in the day when ETH hit 175 and never looked back, like they did the retest and then that was it, it went to 400. Solana 400. Now, there's a lot of people talking Solana 750, Solana 1,000. Those are not, that's nothing wrong with that. But think about the FOMO of Solana 400. Because what does that get everyone doing? Talking about Solana 500, right? These meme coins are speculative assets. In the history of markets, speculative assets lead. So here's a radical notion. So the AI agent thing that's happening, could that be a leading indicator for A, other AI coins, and B, for Solana itself? So who's talking about Solana going to 400? I think Franklin Templeton may, or some one of these investment banks may have, like they're all playing the price target game now. But this just looks like, does that, it's not totally square, but it's not a triangle either, I don't think. It's just kind of sideways, right? Really, honestly, for the whole month of November, right? Solana hasn't gone anywhere since the 14th of November. Solana took a month off because XRP went up 400%. Okay, now it's Solana's turn. What's cheap? What hasn't moved yet? This is an equities mentality that, I think I would encourage you to embrace. Now, XRP, this is really easy. First of all, it is going in a square range. So everyone's going ski mask dog, right? So we know what that means. And it's sitting on top of moving averages, which institutions can see. And we know what that means. And what we may not know is that the XRP army will never sell, right? Think about it, right? Michael Saylor. I'm like, yeah, Michael Saylor, the guy from El Salvador. They're tough guys. They suffered for like 12 months, 9 months. XRP people have been miserable for years. They've been miserable. They've been miserable since like the 2020, 2021 top. Gensler and all that stuff. BitBoy gave them some hope, and it was just enough hope that they just absolutely were trapped. And now they're out of the trap. They're out of the trap. What, they're all going to sell in a month? No. Look at the views on YouTube. You want to start a YouTube channel? Hey, this is Bob's YouTube channel coming to you from a telephone booth on my phone. And today I'm going to read XRP news. There's no XRP news. I'll read yesterday's XRP news. 10,000 views. I'm serious. These people are out there and they're never selling. It's the ultimate cult. It's the ultimate cult, right? Remember, it was Harry Potter, Sonic, Inu, right? Then it was SPX 6900. Then maybe it was WIF before that, right? Now you got GOAT. Now you got this. Now you got that. XRP is a cult meme for money, and it's also probably hard money. And get this, the entire planet is shorted, including Ripple. Ripple said when the XRP ETF comes out, they're going to buy the XRP ETF. I'm like, oh, wow, you guys in equities, you guys are selling XRP? Yeah, we'll take it any way we can get it. They were probably dumping XRP on everyone's head at 50 cents after the SEC announcement. They sent millions of dollars to the wrong presidential candidate. Where is this going to go? Oh, we're going to go back to $1.50? Really? No, we're not. And the thing is, this takes Ethereum. This could take Solana. This could take every other layer one, right? Because XRP Ledger is a layer one, right? Everybody has, the 2021 was like, 2020 was DeFi. 2021 was layer one. We've forgotten about both of them. Now XRP could drive both. What happens when the orange man's hedge fund starts buying XRP? What are you going to do? Like, because of the orange man's fame, they have to buy like $1 million worth of XRP to send XRP careening into outer space. XRP could lead the whole thing. Like, what happens if XRP, don't laugh, what happens if XRP does another one of these like 50 or 60% gap moves higher, the way Bitcoin used to? Then all these guys that can't get these institutions that can't fill their orders, then they have to start panicking. What happens if the whole world is flipped on its head, right? Like retail via XRP and memes pushes the institutions into a gap move higher. I know that's a lot to get out of a sideways picture. You know what? Sometimes like no read is a good read. You know, Bitcoin, I could draw it. I mean, I'm sure it's all over Lux Algo. I'm on a different chart program tonight for some variety. You know, when you have these like upward sloping accumulation cones, right? When it consolidates in a square, in this upward sloping like cone formation, it eventually breaks out of the top, and it probably does so when you're not looking, which this year could be 2 or 3 days before Christmas, right? Like what happens if everyone's like, well, I guess we're done for the year, or I guess we're coming back in January, and then boom, right? Boom. You go out, you get your hot cocoa, you go to church, you see Santa, whatever you do, right? You have your holiday candles, festival of lights, however you want to say it and do it. You're with your family, you're eating dinner, boom, gone, right? Because whatever problem exists with the supply of crypto will continue to exist. There's only one difference. Every day, not only does the supply dwindle, right? But people want to go on vacation. They want to wind it up, right? On the institutional side, they're used to vacation. We don't do vacation. They go, yeah, we don't do weekends. And yeah, like, you know, December 15th. Yeah, I'm packed up. I'll see you in January. I'm taking 2 weeks. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. See, ETH, look, square. Sitting on these moving averages that are drawn with math, 2 of them. Doesn't trade very well. It's not very exciting until this is the pause that refreshes and it takes out 4K. And again, that probably happens while you're sleeping. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for being patient, right? Avalanche. Oh God, let's talk about Avalanche. Can't control myself. Mike Novogratz at Galaxy Digital is like, you guys need $250 million. Oh, no problem. Oh, we got to hold the tokens for I don't know how long. Oh, no problem. No problem. Right? So Avalanche on a 3-day chart, right? Avalanche on a 3-day chart. They've been banging on this support level at 41 for, I don't know, 2 weeks. Avalanche was at, I don't know, 66 back in March. It's funny. Nobody wanted it at 7. No one wanted it at 7. At 63, it was much more attractive. Nobody wanted it at 36. And this is called squash technicals. This is about to come back in vogue, right? This is what you do with charts now. You know, you're like, oh my God, look, it's got all that distance. How is it ever going to go back up there? And then you just go like this. You know, yeah, okay. This is like a base. It's a base to go massively higher, to go to 157. That's the Lux Algo premium zone in Avalanche. So what do I think about Avalanche at 36? I think it's cheap. What do I think about Avalanche at 53? I think it's cheap. It's 40% away from equilibrium, and it's 154% away from premium. So there are ways to trade these things. It's not my game, but if you have slower moving instruments that all of a sudden start moving fast and they give you a quiet market to get involved, I will refer you to the Kaizen professionals. But they're going to build the internet on blockchain. Just saying, right? Near, while we're at it, right? They were dumping this thing last week, right? They were dumping it. They're just like, I don't want this. Lux algo buy signal on the weekly chart. Equilibrium's $10. I don't even have to switch it, right? This Lux algo buy signal really hasn't taken into effect yet. And there's really been you had a lot of money flow in May. I'm sorry, in the spring, but you haven't had any yet. No one's talking about this. No one's doing it. No one thinks they have to do it. See, that's the thing. No one thinks they have to do these things. You do have to do these things. Like, who's telling you that? I'm telling you in my way. The boss is telling you in his way, right? The guys I do the podcast with, they tell you in their way, right? They're like, hey, let's get involved. So if you're new, I have a huge amount of good news. Everything's cheap. That doesn't mean the market can't go down, but it does mean everything is cheap. Now, that's not investment advice. You still have to manage risk, right? Because, as we've seen, you can have it go from 400,000 to 5 million and from 5 million back to 700,000 in market cap, right? And then you get tested to see whether or not you believe in it. Now, if you're here, and I say this every week, if you're afraid to buy the top, good. Good. Because the moment that you're not afraid to buy the top, that is the top. Don't short the quiet market. Don't ignore the quiet market. Don't sleep on crypto. You are here to make money. Institutions are here to keep their job. If Bitcoin lurches and goes to 120, or you have some dramatic gap move, that's the jargon in legacy, right? Where it's just, a higher power candle. You wake up to one of those near Christmas when maybe liquidity is thin. Market loves to do this on Western holidays. It went bananas over Thanksgiving. Everybody thought it was going down. It went straight up. Now, if they lull you to sleep and they say, well, it's Christmas and we're not going to do anything, don't buy into that. Don't, right? Think of it as the pause that refreshes. Thanks for tuning in on Friday night. We will see you Monday.